There's a true story of a party given by a billionaire hedge fund manager out on Shelter Island, right off of Long Island. All the high and mighty were there. Kurt Vonnegut was there. He wrote Slaughterhouse-Five, and Joseph Heller was there. He wrote Catch-22. The story goes that Vonnegut, at one point during the party, looked over to Joseph Heller, and he said to Heller, "You know, our host made more money in one day than you've earned from all of your wildly popular novels." But Joseph Heller looked back at him and he said, "Yes, but I have something he will never have: enough." Will we ever have enough? In our society, that certainly is a major question. When is enough enough? Are we ever satisfied? Or are we always looking for the next acquisition, the next toy, the next experience, failing to appreciate and enjoy what we have? That first reading gives us a startling challenge from Koheleth. Vanity of vanities, all is vanity. That second reading, Paul challenges us to seek what is above. He tells us to put to death the greed that is idolatry. So perhaps in this culture wherein so many are never satisfied, we often need to reflect upon, what are we seeking? Is it all material things? Money and power and prestige things? Things that we think make us feel good about ourselves. Things which never truly make us feel good about ourselves, so we keep trying to get more and more, never totally being fulfilled. Vanity of vanities. The scriptures constantly, consistently challenge us to be aware of the role that greed plays in our lives. Even when our basic needs are met, so often our wants can get out of control and greed can destroy us. It certainly can destroy our environment. It certainly can keep us from sharing even our abundance with those who do not even have the basic necessities of life. I find it interesting that we've just been told that our national debt is now $22 trillion. In that gospel, Jesus tells the man who shouted about his inheritance to guard against greed, and then he told the story of the rich man building more and more barns only to learn that his life was ending soon. Well, there was an astute French woman. Her name was Madame Jeanne Comé. True story. She lived in a beautiful apartment in the south of France. She was born in 1875. She died in 1997. So do the math. She was one of the oldest living people when she died at 122. At the age of 94, a very rich businessman saw that this old woman's apartment would only grow in value, and he could make a lot of money if only he could get her to sell it to him. So he made her a proposition. He would buy it from her, give her life use, and even pay her a stipend every single month. Well, she was also very astute, and she took him up on the deal. Little did he count on her living another 25 years. He died 10 years after he made the deal. Now, it's believed she lived so long because of her Mediterranean diet, so maybe we can take a clue from that. But vanity of vanities. It's so easy to get caught up always wanting more and never being satisfied. We sometimes can be so afraid of not having enough. And in this culture, it's hard to be content when we turn on TV or open the newspaper and we're told what we have to have to be content and happy. Or we look at our neighbor and we see what our neighbor has and we know we have to have that if we're going to be happy. Well, Jesus doesn't agree with this. He certainly didn't agree with what Gordon Gekko said in the movie Wall Street, that greed is good. Because greed can be destructive. First of all, it can be destructive because it tells us that what matters most in life is the stuff we have. And that's the essential lie of greed. And secondly, it blinds us to what is truly important in life. It blinds us to seeking what's above, and oftentimes it can destroy families. Families fight over money. It can destroy marriages. Thirdly, greed operates on the assumption that all that matters in this world are the rewards that money can give us. A few years ago, I had the opportunity to visit the ruins of Pompeii. And in the city of Naples in Italy, there's a museum of the ruins. And there's a body in that museum that had been embalmed by the ashes of Vesuvius. It was the body of a woman who, when found, the story is told that her feet were turned toward the city gate, but her face was turned backward towards something that lay just beyond her outreached hands. The prize for which her frozen hands were reaching was a bag of pearls. Now, maybe she dropped them and as she was fleeing for her life. Maybe she found them where they had been dropped by another. But be that as it may, though death was at her heels and life was beckoning to her beyond the city gates, she could not shake off their spell. She had turned to pick those pearls up, and death was her reward. It was not the eruption of Vesuvius that made her love pearls more than life. That only froze her in this attitude of greed. Vanity of vanities, that's the challenge for all of us this weekend. What are we seeking? Are we storing up riches for ourselves, or are we rich in what matters to God, what is truly important?